Wednesday, and it's me with you today on Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. My name is Mikhail Tinubu. I hope you're ready for some sports news. Some of it isn't so good this morning because life doesn't revolve around sports, but sports is bigger than life for some people. We start in Nigeria, where the Super Eagles drew with Cape Verde 1-1. Nigerians squirmed for 90 minutes on Tuesday evening as their national team drew 1-1 with Cape Verde in their final 2022 World Cup qualifying match. As a result of their performance, the Super Eagles, Stanley Ikawu with me this morning to discuss this. Good morning, Stanley. Lovely to have you. Of course, 1-1 wasn't the expected result, wasn't the hoped for result, but at the same time, many Nigerians weren't so sure that we were going to get a win.
Well, first, I think, just like every other, I want to try the outcome. I think the fair result of the year, you have lost the game. Secondly, I'm of the opinion that even if you want to ground out result,
Stanley. All right. It seems we've lost Stanley there. Argentina qualified for next year's World Cup in Qatar after their goalless draw with Brazil on Tuesday. Their Albiceleste hadn't qualified when the match ended. However, Ecuador's victory in Chile means Argentina's qualification has been secured. The KG affair in San Juan saw few chances, with the biggest talking point coming in the first half when Nicolas Otamendi landed an elbow on Rafinha, which went unpunished by the Uruguayan officials. The Albiceleste are now 12 points clear of Colombia and Peru, who occupy 4th and 5th positions. Now, of course, as you saw there, the Argentinian team failed to win or lose against Brazil. It was a KG match, and of course, they've still managed to qualify thanks to the Ecuador and Chile game results. Now, we move to something a little more heartbreaking. Manchester City defender Benjamin Mendy has been charged with 2 additional counts of rape, in addition to earlier charges of rape and sexual assault, English prosecutors said on Tuesday, November 16th. Mendy has not yet formally entered a plea, but his lawyer said the player has denied the allegations. The 27-year-old, who was earlier charged with 4 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault, has been in custody since August. The charges against Mendy are alleged to have taken place between October 2020 and August 2021. He last played for City against Tottenham Hotspur on August 15th and was suspended later that month. Another man, Louis Maturi, 40, has been charged with 2 additional counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault in relation to the alleged attacks. Both Mendy and Maturi are due to go on trial on 24th of January 2022. Both will appear at the Stockport Magistrate Court on Wednesday, November 17th. Stanley.
I think I was telling someone yesterday, something that got the talking about an unfairly including the discussion that Messi has also
Stanley?
Yeah, hello.
Yes. Go on.
Now, like, as a role model, she always lead the pack, or it's always disappointing when you see professionals, when you see public being alleged or being accused of rape cases or underage marriage. I think it's a no-brainer for me. And for someone like Benjamin Mendy, it's sad. That might just be the end of the football playing career if he just only found guilty and can affect something.
Stanley, it's difficult to hear you. Could you repeat that? Stanley? Well, while Stanley sorts out his line, we move to the next story. Another heartbreaking story about death, suffering in sports. Another man who's now being charged with having hurt someone. Ibrahim Rotich, the husband of slain Kenyan Olympic runner Agnes Tirop, was charged with her murder and pleaded not guilty in a Kenyan court on Tuesday, November 16th. Rotich, 41, had been ordered last week to undergo a mental health test before entering a plea. Tirop was found stabbed at home in the Rift Valley town of Iten on October 13th. In a case that has shone a spotlight on violence against women in the East African country. Rotich appeared in court in handcuffs, wearing a black jacket and a cap. He looked down at the floor for most of the proceedings. Rotich's lawyer, Jocelyn Mitte, declined to discuss the details or results of his mental health evaluation. The bail hearing is set for December 1st. Police arrested Rotich in the coastal city of Mombasa the day after Tirop's body was discovered. They said he had been trying to flee the country. In September, Tirop broke the women-only 10-kilometer world record in Germany. She won bronze medal at the 2017 and 2019 World Championships in the 10,000 meters. Stanley? Sorry, I would like to actually go back to the earlier story about Nigeria's chances of qualifying now that they're in the playoffs, rather than a straight qualification. Are they still capable of getting a result against the likes of Egypt, Algeria? Stanley, sorry, is your TV on?
No. I think you have to keep back it from your end.
Okay. My question is: Nigeria still capable of qualifying, knowing that they will be facing some of the hardest, best teams in the African continent?
Well, like they say, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. At the moment, I can't beat my hands to myself to say the Super Eagles are the best on the continent of Africa. They're not close to the traditionals. They're not close to the legalists. And also, but also, they are not close to the Australians.
Stanley? While Stanley resolves that, we move to the next story. Former Yorkshire player Azim Rafiq broke down in tears on Tuesday, November 16th, as he told the British Parliamentary Committee of Inhumane Treatment at the cricket club and described the sport in England as riddled with racism. In more than an hour of questioning by members of parliament, Rafiq, 30, an off-spin bowler and former captain of the England under-19s of Pakistani descent, catalogued a damning culture of widespread racism at Yorkshire. He and other players with Asian backgrounds were subjected to comments such as "you lot sit over there," and routinely referred to as Paki, which is a derogatory comment in England. Rafiq said, "I felt isolated, humiliated at times," he added in emotional testimony to the Parliamentary Digital Cultural Media and Sport DCMS panel. The scandal has shaken English sport, cost Yorkshire the right to host England internationals, seen the club's top brass quit, and embroiled former England captain Michael Vaughan and present England skipper Joe Root. Rafiq, who played for Yorkshire from 2008 to 2014 and again from 2016 to 2018, recounted having red wine poured down his throat as a 15-year-old and spoke of Asian players being blamed for mistakes while they were fasting. He spoke of being ripped to shreds by former coach Martin Moxon on his first day back after the death of his child. He also said the racism he endured at Yorkshire was without a shadow of doubt replicated across the country, and said the England and Wales Cricket Board ECB were more concerned with box ticketing exercises than increasing the number of South Asian players becoming professionals. Asked about the scale of the problem in English professional cricket, Rafiq said it's an open secret. I've seen that if you speak out, your life is made hell. Stanley Ikawu. Thank you. Sorry, I want to quickly get an answer on the Nigerian qualification chances before we talk about this particular heartbreaking story.
Now, like I said before, the network started acting up. I can't beat my chest to say the Super Eagles would qualify. But then this popular saying that if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. And the continent of Africa at the moment is Super Eagles the best or one of the best. I don't think so. And I mean it because our last 5, 6, 7 games, both during the World Cup qualifier and as well as the Nations Cup qualifier, has not been convincing. Now that begs the question: what has General brought into the Super Eagles? The football philosophy, the football strategy, and of course the technical know-how of a manager that has been to have played the level to have played the game at the highest level. That's it. Now we've managed to cross the hurdle. Now, when we play against a much more
Stanley, I spoke to Scott yesterday, and I made a clear statement. I made a definitive statement. If Nigeria failed to win this match yesterday, Gennaro ought to resign. If not fired, he ought to. For the sake of his own pride, he ought to step down and let someone into that position. If he's not going to resign, do you think it's even a good idea for us to sack him and get a new manager at this critical juncture, almost at the World Cup?
Well, I think my advice to Ahmadu Clinic and the NFF-led board to allow the process of the Nations Cup. After the Nations Cup, we have a match 2022 between South Africa the playoffs for the World Cup. Maybe then we need to get a new manager. But trust me, the fan knows, just like the Legion Closure, how to navigate out of tight and precarious situations when it gets to that stage. You might just get to the Nations Cup and it blows everybody away. All of a sudden, Nigerians will forget that we're not playing any beautiful football. Nigerians will forget that we struggle to qualify. And at the end of the day, next thing you hear on an average Nigerian's league is allow the error remove because we have done something magical. But then, like I said, let's the NFF allow us to oversee the 2022 African Cup of Nations in Cameroon. From them, I think a decision should be taken on him.
Let's talk now about the cricket story. Heartbreaking tales of racism and even Islamophobia. A man who dedicated his time to a single club in Yorkshire, trying to be the best he could be, and yet everywhere he seemed to turn to, racism was thrown in his face. It seems to me that no matter what sports we're talking about, racism is so prevalent and we can't escape it.
Well, different federations or associations are this way. From football, to basketball, to cricket, to squash, to taekwondo, and even at the Olympics. I think it's always a no for me. The reason being that, just like the popular whether you're black or white, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're working together for the collective interest of a particular organization, a body, or a system, then I think it should be seen as one.
But you see, Stanley, you see, a lot of times when these stories come out, it seems to me that the immediate governing body of that specific sport comes out, makes a statement, stands against racism, but very little is done. Would we be better off if in every sport, every governing body came together and treated it as a problem that is so pervasive across every sport and collaborated to work at a solution, rather than individual bodies simply passing whatever tiny fixes in their own divisions?
It's very simple and clear. Just like we have stewards at different match venues during football matches or games. I think the stewards also should be positioned in some strategic point of the field or any match center. Whoever is found culpable of racism should immediately be charged and sentenced. I remember FIFA after the Euros and UEFA came out with a statement that anybody or any fan found mutually abusing a footballer or a sport personality to be sentenced. And some of the fans that racially abused and Sancho, Bukayo Saka, and Marcus Rashford have also faced their own ugly side of the news. So I think with this, it's a gradual process. I'm not saying it's something that will be eradicated very early or very soon as far as the world of sport is concerned. With the collective interest that the whole world is putting together, what comes to all this drama?
I'll wrap up with it. All right, Stanley, thank you for joining me this morning, and it's been a pleasure. No problem. We hope we can get you back next time or with a clearer network. And all right. And to everyone at home, I appreciate you for your patience, and we hope you can join us next time. Sports is such a big deal, but sometimes we forget that lives are existing within sports, and sometimes the biggest problems for these people is within the sports they play. I leave you now with Yannick Sinner and Herbert Hookers. Yannick successfully took his revenge over Herbert, beating the Pole in straight sets 6-2, 6-2 at the Nitto ATP Finals in Italy. The pair last faced off 7 months ago at the ATP Masters in Miami, with Hookers coming out on top. Sinner was an alternate after Matteo Berrettini pulled out with an abdominal injury, and the 20-year-old Italian took full advantage of his opportunity on home soil. Now, to everyone at home and at work, remember, life is never boring with some sports. Have a nice day.